Welcome to our channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting, uncovering hidden treasures that might just be sitting in your pocket change. Today, first up, we're taking a close look at the Monticello Jefferson nickel from 1963 with the D mint mark. Could this coin be worth more than just 5 cents? Stick around and you'll find out why this dark brown layered beauty in fine condition could surprise you with its value on today's collector market. Before we jump into values, let's talk about the history behind the Jefferson nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel debuted in 1938, featuring President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic estate, Monticello, on the reverse. This design was meant to honor one of America's founding fathers and remains one of the most recognized coins in U.S. history. In 1963, the Denver Mint produced over 276 million Jefferson nickels. Not all 1963 with D nickels are created equal. Factors like condition, rarity, and unique features such as the dark brown patina we're discussing today can drastically impact its value. So, what makes this 1963 with D Jefferson nickel with a dark brown layer so intriguing? First, let's talk about the mint mark. The D indicates it was minted in Denver, which often had slight differences in minting quality compared to other mints. Next, the dark brown coloration is likely due to natural oxidation over time, creating a patina that can actually enhance its appeal for collectors. See the difference? While some collectors prefer their coins shiny and untouched, others value the character that comes with age, like this darkened surface. This patina can be seen as a badge of history, representing the coin's journey through decades of circulation. Now let's talk money. The value of a 1963 with D Jefferson nickel largely depends on its condition and rarity. In fine condition, defined as showing moderate wear but with most major details still visible, this coin brown layer fine condidio could fetch anywhere between $187,000 on the collector market. And lastly, 1,100 old coin mark from 2012 to 2019, commission fractures can be as low as 10% and 15% more with major dealers. Professional coin grading plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by organizations like The Professional. So, what should you look for on your 1963 with D nickel? Here are a few tips for spotting valuable traits. Look for doubling on the lettering, numbers, or Monticello itself. This is known as a doubled die error and can significantly increase the coin's value. Coins with sharp, uninterrupted steps known as full steps are rare and highly sought after. While not officially graded, a naturally occurring dark brown or rainbow tone patina can make your coin stand out to collectors. Always use a magnifying glass or loupe to inspect your coin closely. Small details can make a huge difference. Now that you know what to look for, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1963 with D Jefferson nickel? First, protect your coin. Store it in a coin flip or a protective holder to prevent further wear. Second, consider having it graded by a professional service to confirm its authenticity and condition. You can sell your coin online through auction sites or take it to a local coin dealer. Keep in mind that graded coins tend to fetch higher prices because buyers trust their authenticity. So, could your 1963 with D Jefferson nickel with that beautiful dark brown layer be? It may make you a millionaire. Understanding what to look for can turn this humble coin into a valuable piece of history. Next up, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Jefferson nickels, focusing on a specific gem, the 1948 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark. Could this silver-tinted, very fine condition coin be sitting in your pocket change and secretly worth substituting for? Stick around to find out. Before we get into the specifics of the 1948 Jefferson nickel, let's quickly explore its origins. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, it features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic home Monticello on the reverse. This design has become one of the most recognizable in U.S. coinage history. But why is the 1948 version so intriguing to collectors today? That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these coins, yet certain characteristics like condition, rarity, and unusual tint can turn a seemingly ordinary nickel into a prized collector's item. The first thing to know is that a 1948 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark was struck in Philadelphia, Unlike coins minted in Denver or San Francisco, Philadelphia coins from this era don't carry a mint mark. You'll find this information on the reverse to the right of Monticello, or lack thereof. So, if your 1948 nickel has no letter D or S on the reverse, it's from the Philadelphia Mint. Now let's talk about what collectors call the silver-tinted Jefferson nickel. While most nickels from this time were made of copper and nickel, certain environmental conditions such as exposure to moisture or temperature changes can cause the surface of the coin to take on a silvery hue. This is especially prized when paired with minimal wear and a very fine or better condition. In very fine condition, the details of Monticello and Jefferson's profile remain clear, with only slight signs of wear. Coins in this state are much more desirable to collectors. So, what's the big deal about the 1948 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark? Its value depends on a combination of factors: condition, demand, and those unique visual characteristics we discussed earlier. In very fine condition, a 1948 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark typically fetches between $175,000 on today's market. However, if your coin shows exceptional luster or has an unusual tint, collectors could pay anywhere from $195,000. If you think you've got a valuable 1948 nickel, here's what to do. Examine the coin under magnification for details and wear. Check for any mint errors or unusual features. Use a coin scale to confirm the weight. It should be approximately 5 grams. Compare it to online price guides or consult a professional coin dealer for an accurate appraisal. Many local coin shops or grading companies can professionally grade your coin and give you an official value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, here are some tips to get the most out of your collection. Always store your coins in a cool, dry place to prevent tarnishing. Handle coins by the edges to avoid damaging the surfaces. Invest in protective cases or albums for long-term preservation. And don't forget to join the coin collecting community. Forums, social media groups, and local meetups are great places to share knowledge and discoveries. So there you have it, the story behind the 1948 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark. This coin is a fascinating piece of history that could still hold some surprising value in the collector's market. Next up, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1963 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark. Specifically, we'll explore the value, history, and collector appeal of this silver-shaded, very fine condition coin. You'll understand why this seemingly ordinary 5-cent piece is making waves in the numismatic world. Let's get started. The Jefferson nickel first appeared in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Its design, created by Felix Schlag, features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and a depiction of his Virginia estate Monticello on the reverse. The coin was meant to symbolize Jefferson's legacy and the ideals of American democracy. Now let's fast forward to 1963. This year marked one of the last minting runs of the Jefferson nickel before the major design changes in the mid-1960s. The coins minted in Denver that year, signified by the D mint mark, are particularly interesting to collectors today due to their rarity in specific conditions and their unique silver-like appearance. You might be wondering, why does this nickel appear silver instead of its usual dull gray tone? Although Jefferson nickels from 1963 were primarily composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, certain environmental conditions can cause a silver shading effect. Prolonged exposure to air, moisture, or even chemical cleaning methods can alter a coin's luster, giving it a bright, silvery finish that catches the eye of collectors. It's important to note that this is not actual silver content but rather an aesthetic feature that can make the coin stand out in a collection. However, collectors value these unique coins for their visual appeal, especially when paired with very fine or higher grades. The 1963 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark was minted in Denver, and a significant number were produced, over 276 million to be exact. So what makes this coin valuable? Rarity and collector demand. Coins in very fine condition or higher are harder to find because most nickels from that era were heavily circulated. A coin graded as very fine will exhibit moderate wear but retain key design details, particularly on Jefferson's face and the Monticello building. Coins with unique features like the silver shade or full steps on the Monticello fetch even higher premiums. Full steps refer to the sharp, distinct steps visible on Monticello's stairs, a detail often worn down during circulation. So, how much is your 1963 with D. Jefferson nickel worth today? In very fine condition, a standard 1963 with D nickel without notable features is typically valued at $150,000 according to numismatic price guides. However, if your coin exhibits the silver shade or has full steps, the value can climb significantly. A silver-shaded 1963 with D nickel in very fine condition sold for $190,000 at an online auction. Collectors are particularly drawn to unique features like toning, luster, and minimal damage, so coins with these attributes can see a considerable price boost. If you're looking to add a 1963 with D. Jefferson nickel to your collection or sell one you already own, here are a few tips. Use a magnifier to inspect the details. Look for full steps, minimal wear, and unique toning. Check for the mint mark. The D mint mark can be found on the reverse side, to the right of Monticello. For valuable coins, consider professional grading through services to ensure authenticity and maximize value. Use a coin holder or album to prevent further wear and protect the coin's value, or recommend a market value for coins using a worker or consumer crush. Reveal the truth at reveal.com. Jefferson nickels are an excellent entry point for beginner collectors. The 1963 with D nickel in particular stands out for its unique attributes and growing collector interest. Whether you're drawn to its silver-like finish or the challenge of finding one in pristine condition, this coin is a significant piece of American history. Next up, we're diving deep into a particular coin that has captured the attention of collectors and enthusiasts for decades, the 1969 Monticello Jefferson nickel with D mint mark, and yes, those brown spots. So grab your magnifying glass and let's take a closer look at this fascinating piece of American numismatic history. First, let's set the stage with a bit of background on the Jefferson nickel itself. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938 and quickly became a staple of U.S. coinage. Designed by Felix Schlag, it features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse, and Monticello, Jefferson's famous home in Virginia, on the reverse. The coin was initially struck in a 75% copper and 25% nickel composition. Over the years, various versions of the nickel have been produced, but today we're focusing on one specific year and a mint mark that adds to its rarity, the 1969 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark. In 1969, the United States Mint continued to produce the Jefferson nickel in high quantities. But there's something unique about the 1969 D mint mark version. The D stands for the Denver Mint, one of the primary minting facilities in the US. But what makes this coin so interesting to collectors today is not just its design or mint mark, it's the way it has aged over the years. One of the most distinguishing features that collectors look for when they examine a 1969 Jefferson nickel is the presence of brown spots, like the ones you see here. These spots are typically caused by a combination of factors: oxidation, environmental exposure, and even how the coin was stored over the years. These spots, often referred to as toning, occur when copper in the coin's composition reacts with moisture and air. Especially with older coins like this one, it can actually enhance the coin's character and appearance. For collectors, these brown spots add an extra layer of mystery and history, showing that the coin has been through decades of wear and exposure. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. The term very fine is a commonly used grade in coin collecting. A coin in very fine condition has seen some circulation, but it still retains clear details, especially on the primary features like Jefferson's face and Monticello. In the case of the 1969 Jefferson nickel, you can still make out all the key elements without any significant wear. The brown spots might obscure some fine details, but they don't detract from the overall appeal. So you might be wondering, what's the big deal with this particular coin? How much could a 1969 Jefferson nickel with D mint mark and brown spots be worth today in the collector market? Let's break it down. When you get into a coin like the 1969 with D with notable brown spots and a grade of very fine, things start to get interesting. While individual coins' prices can vary depending on factors like toning and rarity, a very fine example of this coin could be worth anywhere from $280,000. If your coin is in exceptional condition, with the right kind of toning, or if you happen to have one that's part of a rare batch, you could see the price go up significantly. Some collectors have paid up to $300,000 or more for a 1969 Jefferson nickel with unique characteristics or well-preserved details. Why is there so much interest in a coin like the 1969 Jefferson nickel? Well, as coin collectors look for ways to complete their sets or find unique pieces to add to their collection, coins from certain years and mints become valuable for their rarity and story. A coin like this one, with its brown spots and unique condition, becomes an attractive option for those looking for something special. Additionally, the appeal of collecting is not just about monetary value, it's about history. Every coin tells a story, and coins like this, 1969 Jefferson nickel with E mint mark, carry a piece of America's past. For many collectors, owning one of these coins is a way to preserve a tangible part of U.S. history. So, there you have it, the 1969 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark coin on its own, but in the right condition, and with the right collector, it could be a hidden gem. Whether you find one in your pocket change or discover it at a local coin shop, it's always exciting to learn more about these historical pieces and their role in the world of coin collecting. Next up, we're diving deep into a truly fascinating piece of numismatic history, the 1963 Monticello Jefferson nickel with D mint mark. What's so special about this coin? Is it worth much today? Stick around as we explore its unique features, its collector value, and the best way to find and preserve this hidden treasure. The 1963 Jefferson nickel is part of the long-standing series of U.S. nickels that have been minted since 1938, featuring the likeness of Thomas Jefferson. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin's reverse shows Monticello, Jefferson's iconic plantation home in Virginia. This coin, like many others in the series, has become an iconic piece of American coinage. But not all 1963 Jefferson nickels are created equal, especially when we talk about the D mint mark, and what makes this particular coin stand out in the world of collectors. Let's take a moment to appreciate the beautiful design of this coin. On the obverse, you'll find a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. The simplicity of the design, paired with the bold clarity of Jefferson's profile, is a testament to the enduring legacy of the man behind the coin. The reverse, featuring Monticello, reflects not just architectural beauty, but also a piece of American history. The building, designed by Jefferson himself, was a symbol of his vision for the nation. Now, while this coin has a common design that you'll find across many of the nickels from the era, what really makes the 1963 version stand out is the presence of the D mint mark, indicating that it was minted in Denver. This mint mark, combined with the condition of the coin, can significantly influence its market value today. The 1963 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark isn't just any regular nickel. It's a coin that holds more value than you might think. Why? Well, this is where we need to pay attention to the specifics of its features. The D mint mark signifies the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most prominent mints in the United States. Denver-produced coins, particularly those from the mid-20th century, have become increasingly sought after by collectors. Another critical factor that affects a coin's value is its condition, and for the 1963 Jefferson nickel, a coin graded in fine condition is a significant plus. You'll notice that the coin still holds clear details on the portrait of Jefferson and Monticello, though some wear is visible. For a coin that is over 60 years old, a fine grade typically means that the details are sharp, with only light wear across the coin's high points. This condition strikes a fine balance between rarity and affordability, making it highly appealing to collectors. Now here's a detail that might catch your eye: black and spring green dots on your coin. What's going on here? Is it a defect, or does it have significance? These dots are typically signs of environmental damage, such as from chemical reactions or prolonged exposure to moisture. So, now we come to the burning question. What's the value of the 1963 Jefferson nickel in today's collector market? The answer, of course, depends on a variety of factors, including the coin's condition, the presence of the mint mark, and its rarity. If your coin is in fine condition and has that unique black and spring green dot feature, you might be looking at a value between $145,000, depending on the exact condition and the demand at the time. This can fluctuate based on the market and the rarity of certain mint marks. Even with minor discoloration or environmental marks, the coin could still be worth a bit more, especially for collectors who are interested in coins that tell a story of age and history. To understand how much your 1963 Jefferson nickel is truly worth, there are a few steps you should take. Start by consulting online coin marketplaces, auction sites, or even reaching out to a professional coin appraiser. These experts can provide valuable insights on the current demand for coins with specific features, such as the D mint mark, or those that have undergone certain types of wear and damage. Also, you can check popular coin guides, such as the Red Book by the American Numismatic Association, which provides up-to-date pricing information for different grades and varieties of coins. When it comes to collecting and preserving your 1963 Jefferson nickel, or any coin for that matter, proper storage is key to maintaining its value. Here are a few quick tips. These help prevent the coin from being exposed to the elements or physical damage. Avoid cleaning coins. It may be tempting, but cleaning can decrease a coin's value by removing its original patina. Store in a cool, dry place. Humidity and extreme temperatures can damage your coin over time. The 1963 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark to the right, collector, it's a true treasure. Whether you're just starting out in the world of numismatics or you're a seasoned coin hunter, understanding the value of each coin and its unique characteristics can lead to discovering something really special. And who knows, that nickel sitting in your coin jar might be worth more than you think. Next up, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1949 Jefferson nickel, a coin that not only holds historical value, but has gained significant attention in the collector's market. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a new collector, you'll want to stick around as we explore this iconic coin, its significance. At first glance, the 1949 Jefferson nickel might seem like just another coin from the mid-20th century. However, for those in the know, this coin holds incredible value, especially when it's in the right condition and has no mint mark, or in some cases even when it's graded in what's known as fine condition. Let's start by breaking down what makes the 1949 Jefferson nickel special and why it's so desirable in the coin collecting community. First, let's talk about the coin itself. The Jefferson nickel, first minted in 1938, is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. numismatics. The obverse features a portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, designed by artist Felix Schlag. Jefferson, the third president of the United States, was a key figure in American history, known for authoring the Declaration of Independence and his leadership during the early years of the Republic. The reverse side of the coin features Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. The structure is elegantly depicted, showcasing its neoclassical architectural style. Monticello is not only a symbol of Jefferson's legacy, but also a reminder of the country's roots and the vision of one of its founding fathers. Throughout the years, the Jefferson nickel has undergone slight modifications in its design and minting process, but the 1949 version is particularly noteworthy due to its unique characteristics. Now, let's talk about the year 1949. In that year, the U.S. Mint produced several types of Jefferson nickels, and it's essential to understand how these varieties influence the coin's market value. Most notably, we're going to focus on the coins that lack a mint mark. Mint marks are small letters found on most U.S. coins, indicating where they were produced. For example, coins produced in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver or San Francisco will have D or S respectively. But the 1949 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is particularly sought after by collectors. 1949 Jefferson nickel adds an interesting dimension to its collectability. The rarity of this version, combined with its fine details, makes it a prime candidate for collectors looking to complete their sets. Condition plays a significant role in determining the value of any coin, and the 1949 Jefferson nickel, when assessing the value of this coin, collectors rely on a grading system that evaluates everything from the sharpness of the details to the presence of any damage or wear. Coins are typically graded on a scale that ranges from poor to mint state. For a coin to be considered in fine condition, it should still retain some of its original details, though the design might be worn or faded due to circulation. For the 1949 Jefferson nickel, a fine condition coin might show wear on Jefferson's portrait and the Monticello building, but the overall design remains recognizable. It's a coin that was likely in circulation for many years before being carefully preserved by a collector. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the market value. The 1949 Jefferson nickel in fine condition can range in value depending on factors like demand, rarity, and the current market. But how much is it really worth today? The 1949 Jefferson nickel in fine condition can be worth anywhere from $110,000. That's a respectable return on investment. But remember, the value can increase significantly if the coin is in better condition, such as very fine or extremely fine. In those cases, the price can jump to $115,000 or more. Of course, some rare versions of the 1949 Jefferson nickel, particularly those with no mint mark or certain die varieties, can reach even higher prices. How do you get your hands on one of these valuable coins? Well, there are several ways to find a 1949 Jefferson nickel, including through coin roll hunting, auctions, or even by visiting a local coin shop. Many collectors turn to coin roll hunting, which involves searching through rolls of nickels purchased at the bank. You might just find a 1949 Jefferson nickel hidden among the more recent coins. Alternatively, you can visit a local coin dealer or check online auction sites like eBay. But keep in mind, if you're buying one online, always be sure to ask for high-quality images and verify the condition before making a purchase. So what's the future of the 1949 Jefferson nickel? As with all collectible coins, values can fluctuate based on demand, rarity, and the overall state of the coin market. However, the 1949 Jefferson nickel remains an enduring piece of U.S. history, and it's likely to continue being a favorite among collectors for years to come. Coins from this era have seen a steady increase in interest, especially as more collectors focus on completing their sets and discovering rare pieces. The 1949 Jefferson nickel, particularly in better grades, will continue to hold its place as a beloved and valuable coin in the numismatic world. Whether you're looking to add a 1949 Jefferson nickel to your collection or are just beginning your numismatic journey, it's clear that this coin holds both historical and financial significance. Next up, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic and sought-after coins in American numismatic history, the 1940 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark. Known for its unique silver shade and historical significance, this coin holds great value in the current collector's market, particularly in very fine condition. If you're new to coin collecting or simply curious about the potential value of this piece in your collection, you're in for a treat. So grab your magnifying glass and let's explore this historical treasure together. Before we zoom into the specifics of the 1940 Monticello Jefferson nickel, let's briefly touch on the history of the Jefferson nickel series as a whole. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, designed by Felix Schlag, and it replaced the previous Buffalo nickel. The obverse features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, and the reverse showcases an image of his famous home, Monticello, which was located in Virginia. Over time, the coin went through several design and metal composition changes, but the Monticello Jefferson nickel remains a staple in American numismatic collections. In 1940, the United States Mint produced several variants of the Jefferson nickel, but one of the most interesting features of the 1940 edition is the inclusion of the S mint mark. Minted at the San Francisco Mint, this nickel is a key point of interest for collectors. A distinguishing feature of the 1940 Jefferson nickel is its composition. While most modern nickels are made from a combination of copper and nickel, many of the earlier issues, including some from the late 1930s and 1940s, contain a silver content which was introduced during World War II. This silver content gives the 1940 nickel a slightly different shade compared to its later copper-nickel counterparts. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is king, and understanding grading terminology is key to determining a coin's value. So let's talk about what very fine condition means for the 1940 Monticello Jefferson nickel. A coin graded as very fine is one that has visible wear and tear, but still retains a significant amount of detail. In the case of the Jefferson nickel, the portrait of Jefferson and the Monticello building on the reverse will be slightly worn, but the design elements remain clearly defined. Specifically, the lettering on the coin will be legible, but there will be some signs of wear on high points, like Jefferson's hair, the building's columns, and the lines of the coin. The coin might have light scratches or discoloration, but it should still be free from any major damage like deep gouges or dents. If your 1940 Jefferson nickel falls into this category, you might have a collector's item on your hands. Mint marks on U.S. coins tell collectors where the coin was produced. In 1940, the San Francisco Mint produced a distinct number of Jefferson nickels with the S mint mark, making them a special edition. The San Francisco Mint was known for producing high-quality coins, but it was also a production hub for nickels that contained silver during this period. Collectors especially look for the S mint mark as it was considered a more limited production compared to other mints like Philadelphia, no mint mark, or Denver. The San Francisco mintage of the 1940 Jefferson nickel is notably smaller, which directly contributes to its value today. This S mint mark feature is highly regarded by numismatists because it indicates both scarcity and desirability in the marketplace. Now let's get to the most exciting part, the value of the 1940 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark. The market for collectible coins can fluctuate based on various factors like demand, rarity, and condition. In general, a 1940 Jefferson nickel silver shade very in fine condition could be valued anywhere from $400,000. It's not only a collectible item but also a piece of history from a time when the US was transitioning to wartime metal usage. The number of single silver items in collection around the world has softened significantly in the last several years. Several factors influence how much your 1940 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark is worth today. As mentioned earlier, the better the condition, the higher the value. Coins that are uncirculated or near mint grade can command significantly higher prices. The 1940 YES mint mark is not as common as other versions of the Jefferson nickel, which makes it more desirable. As the demand for historical and silver coins continues to rise, the value of this particular nickel has been increasing over time. Numismatic values are also influenced by broader trends in the coin market. Silver prices and collector interest in specific series can fluctuate, so it's important to stay informed on market conditions. Coins that have been stored and handled properly, away from harsh environments, maintain their value better. So if you've kept your 1940 Jefferson nickel in a safe, controlled environment, it is likely to retain its worth better than one that has been exposed to moisture, dirt, or other damaging factors. If you're looking to buy, sell, or trade a 1940 Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark, it's important to know where to go and how to verify its authenticity. Buying reputable dealers both online and in person are great places to start. Websites, auctions, and other numismatic platforms regularly feature coins like the 1940 with S Jefferson nickel. Always check the seller's feedback and look for a certificate of authenticity when available. If you're thinking about selling your nickel, you can also check online auction platforms or visit local coin shops. Many dealers will offer to purchase or appraise your collection. Trading coins with other collectors or at numismatic conventions can be a rewarding experience, as you might find someone interested in exchanging for other rare items. The 1940 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark is not only a piece of American history, but also a valuable item in today's coin market. Whether you're an avid collector or someone who just inherited a coin collection, this nickel is certainly worth considering, especially if it's in very fine condition. If you have one of these coins in your possession, take a moment to check its condition, mint mark, and silver content. Who knows, you may have a valuable collector. Next up, we're diving into something that might surprise a lot of you. One of the most intriguing and valuable coins you could own without even realizing it, the 1964 Monticello Jefferson nickel. But not just any 1964 nickel, we're talking about the rare version, without the mint mark and with a golden shine. Sounds interesting, right? Let's start by looking at the coin itself. The 1964 Jefferson nickel features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag, and on the reverse we see a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's famous home in Virginia. If you're unfamiliar with the Jefferson nickel, it's one of the most beloved coins in American numismatics. But today we're zeroing in on the 1964 version, especially one that doesn't have a mint mark. Now, before we dive into why the 1964 without a mint mark is so special, let's quickly cover what mint marks are and why they matter. Mint marks are small letters placed on coins to indicate which U.S. mint facility produced the coin. For example, a D mint mark means the coin was made in Denver, while an S means San Francisco. Coins without a mint mark, like this 1964 Jefferson nickel, were produced in the Philadelphia Mint. The 1964 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is notable for a few reasons. First of all, it was produced in huge numbers. Over 1.3 billion 1964 Jefferson nickels were minted that year in total, but the one without the mint mark Let's take a closer look at what makes the 1964 Jefferson nickel stand out in terms of condition. The condition of a coin is everything when it comes to its value. Coins are graded on a scale from good to mint state, or MS-70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. In our case, the 1964 Jefferson nickel we're talking about today is in what numismatists call very fine condition. Coins graded as very fine have little wear, but their design is still sharp and you can clearly see the details. The Monticello on the reverse side should still be recognizable, with its intricate details visible. The word Liberty across the top of the obverse should still be well defined, and Thomas Jefferson's portrait should show minimal signs of wear. A coin in this condition, with no mint mark, can be worth a lot more than a typical worn nickel. One of the most attractive aspects of this coin, especially for collectors, is the unique golden shine it has when it's in this very fine state. Over time, a nickel's metal composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, can develop a natural patina that gives it a subtle golden hue. This golden shine is a characteristic that collectors find desirable in older coins, as it reflects a natural aging process. So why does this specific 1964 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark hold significant value? Well, because it represents both a rare combination of factors, its high quality in terms of condition, and the appeal of its golden patina. As I mentioned before, despite the fact that over 1 billion nickels were minted in 1964, very few are found in very fine or better condition. Most of the 1964 Jefferson nickels have been heavily circulated, leading to a lot of them being in poor condition. So when one shows up in exceptional, very fine condition, it stands out. But it's not just the condition that matters here. The lack of a mint mark makes it a rare variant, and when you factor in the golden shine, it can really increase its value. Now let's talk numbers. If you were to find a 1964 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in very fine condition, its value could range anywhere from $145,000 if the coin is in even better condition, like extremely fine, or uncirculated, it could fetch well over $158,000 at auction. Of course, the true value of any coin is determined by its demand in the collector market at any given time, but the 1964 Monticello Jefferson nickel has been steadily increasing in value over the years. So whether you're just getting started in coin collecting or you've been doing it for years, this is a coin worth keeping an eye on. End quote. If you find one of these coins in your collection or as part of your change, you might want to get it professionally graded to determine its true value. A graded coin, especially one that's in excellent condition, will fetch a higher price than one that's left ungraded. There are several grading companies out there, but the most reputable ones, the 1964 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark and in very fine condition is not just a relic of the past. It's a hidden gem that could be worth a substantial amount of money today. As always, the key to collecting coins is knowledge. The more you know about the coins you have, the more you'll understand their potential value. So check your collection, your change jar, or even your pocket change in your office or coffee shop and find the treasure you didn't know existed. Next up, we're going to dive deep into a fascinating topic for both collectors and investors, the 1976 Monticello Jefferson nickel. More specifically, we're going to explore this particular coin in very fine condition, with a mint mark of D and those intriguing gray spots. What makes this coin special? How does its condition, mint mark, and those mysterious spots impact its value in today's collector market? Stick with us as we uncover the mystery behind this classic piece of American currency and find out how much it's worth today. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1976 Jefferson nickel, let's take a step back in time and look at the history of this iconic coin. The Jefferson nickel has been part of the U.S. coinage system since 1938. It was designed by Felix Schlag, and it features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse, with his home, Monticello, depicted on the reverse. The 1976 version of the Jefferson nickel is particularly interesting because it falls right into the middle of a period of change in American coinage. The bicentennial of the United States was in full swing, and Americans were reflecting on the nation's founding and history. However, unlike other coins produced during this period, the Jefferson nickel remained largely unchanged in its design. Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's home in Virginia, is shown on the reverse of the coin. The building's architectural beauty has made it one of the most recognizable American landmarks, and its depiction on the nickel serves as a tribute to Jefferson's legacy. Now, let's zoom in on the specific coin we're talking about today, the 1976 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark. This mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the two primary minting facilities in the United States. The other is the Philadelphia Mint, but the D mint mark is associated with coins that were struck in Denver. The 1976 Jefferson nickel, like many other coins from this era, is composed of a copper-nickel alloy. It weighs 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, which is standard for U.S. nickels. On the obverse, we see the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, and below it, the coin's denomination. The details on this coin are sharp, but keep in mind that in the condition we're focusing on today, very fine, some of the finer details might have softened over time, such as Jefferson's hairline or the inscriptions around the rim. The gray spots that appear on this 1976 Jefferson nickel. If you're a collector, you've probably seen this phenomenon before. But what causes these spots, and how do they affect the value of the coin? Gray spots on coins are often the result of environmental exposure. Over time, a coin can interact with moisture, oils from handling, or other contaminants in the air, leading to the development of these spots. This is especially true if the coin wasn't properly stored in a safe, controlled environment. Though gray spots can sometimes be mistaken for tarnish, they don't necessarily reduce the coin's overall value. In fact, they're a common feature of coins that have seen years of circulation. However, it's important to note that the more severe the corrosion or discoloration, the more it can affect the coin's grade and ultimately its value. Even with the gray spots, if the coin is in very fine condition, it can still retain significant collector value. But if the gray spots are associated with damage like rust or more extreme corrosion, that could result in a decrease in its market value. Speaking of condition, let's talk about grading. Coins are graded based on their condition, and this directly impacts their value. The 1976 Jefferson nickel in question is in very fine condition, which is an important distinction for collectors. A coin in very fine condition shows clear signs of wear, but the main design elements are still visible and defined. The edges of the coin might be softened and finer details might be less sharp, but the major design features like Jefferson's portrait and Monticello are still legible and recognizable. The coin may have some small scratches or discoloration from circulation. While it's not in pristine, uncirculated condition, a very fine coin can still be quite valuable to collectors, especially if it's a specific year or has an unusual mint mark or defect. Okay, now the moment you've been waiting for. How much is this 1976 Jefferson nickel worth today? To answer this, we need to consider several factors: condition, rarity, and demand in the collector market. Coins in very fine condition typically range in value, but for a 1976 Jefferson nickel, a coin with the D mint mark in this condition could be worth anywhere between $110,000 depending on the market at any given time. The gray spots ideal for top-tier collectors won't drastically affect the value as long as the coin is. Now, if you have a 1976 Jefferson nickel in better condition, say one that's closer to a mint state, you could see a higher value, especially if the coin is graded and certified by a reputable service. But the only way you could do that would be as a way in which the coin was graded and certified by a reputable service. But if you're wondering whether your coin has turned into a rare, high-value collector's item, it's crucial to remember that rarity is the key. The 1976 Jefferson nickel, even with its gray spots, isn't considered a rare coin. But if you happen to have an error coin or one with unique characteristics, that could push its value up significantly. So, should you add a 1976 Jefferson nickel with gray spots to your collection, or even as an investment piece? Well, if you're a fan of classic US coins or simply looking to build a collection of coins from different years, this nickel is a solid choice. It's still an excellent representation of American history, and its value will likely increase over time, particularly as collectors continue to appreciate its historical significance. Next up, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins and exploring the legendary 1946 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the elusive S mint mark. But this isn't just any nickel. It's a coin that has a mysterious and unique appearance, featuring a yellow wave and black dots, and holds significant value in the collector's market today. So sit back, grab your magnifying glass, and let's take a closer look at this intriguing coin. Before we get into the specifics of this unique nickel, let's go over the basics. The 1946 Jefferson nickel is a part of the famous Jefferson series, which has been in production since 1938. These nickels feature the likeness of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with his historic home Monticello displayed on the reverse. Looking at the obverse of this coin, you can see the striking portrait of President Jefferson. This iconic image has been featured on the nickel since its introduction. The coin was designed by Felix Schlag, an artist who won a competition in 1938 to design the new nickel. But for the 1946 version, there's something special about the coin's appearance, especially when we look at certain varieties, like the 1946 S Mint Mark coin. On the reverse, the famous Monticello building, Thomas Jefferson's plantation in Virginia, is depicted. This building is a symbol of Jefferson's architectural and intellectual legacy, and its design on the nickel has remained largely unchanged over the years. But let's get into the 1946 coin's most intriguing features. What makes this coin stand out from the rest? First up, the S Mint mark. You'll find this letter beneath the building on the reverse side, indicating that the coin was minted in San Francisco. Mint marks are a key part of coin collecting, as they help identify where a coin was made, and coins from different mints often carry different values or rarity depending on the mintage. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The 1946 USS Jefferson nickel is known for a phenomenon that has intrigued collectors for decades: the yellow wave and black dots. You might notice when looking at certain coins, especially in finer conditions, there's a subtle yet noticeable yellowish hue across the surface. Some even describe it as a wave-like pattern that sweeps across the obverse of the coin. Some of these coins exhibit small black dots or blemishes, often scattered along the coin's surface. These marks, sometimes caused by the unique combination of minting conditions, have become a distinctive characteristic of the 1946 with S variety. Now, you might be wondering, what causes this yellow wave and black dots? While the exact reason is still somewhat debated among numismatists, it's believed that certain environmental factors or imperfections during the minting process could have led to these distinct visual features. The yellow wave effect, in particular, might be the result of chemical reactions that occurred during or after minting, which, over time, gave some of these coins a slightly tarnished or altered appearance. For collectors, these visual anomalies can actually enhance the appeal of the coin, making it stand out from other more uniform 1946 nickels. Some see these unique characteristics as a kind of signature, a reminder that each coin is a product of its time, its place, and its specific conditions. Speaking of conditions, the state of preservation plays a major role in determining a coin's value. A fine condition coin, as we're discussing today, generally shows moderate wear, with most of the design still visible. It's not as perfect as an uncirculated coin, but it still holds a lot of character. In the case of the 1946 S nickel, a fine condition coin will have some signs of circulation but will still retain much of the detail. The yellow wave and black dots may be more pronounced in a fine or higher grade coin, which makes it more desirable to collectors. So, how does this affect its value? Well, coins like the 1946 Jefferson nickel with the S Mint mark have been sought after for decades, but their unique visual features, combined with their condition, can push their value even higher in today's market. Let's talk numbers. In general, the value of a 1946 Jefferson nickel in fine condition can range anywhere from $375,000, but the ones with the yellow wave and black dots in fine or better condition can see a significant increase in price. Final coins that are in uncirculated condition, especially those with these distinctive features, can command anywhere from $390,000 or even higher, depending on the exact nature of the coin and the collector demand at the time. It's not just about the year or the mint mark, it's about that rare combination of features that make these coins unique and desirable. For collectors, finding a 1946 S Monticello Jefferson nickel with the yellow wave and black dots in fine or higher condition can feel like striking gold. These rare features, combined with the overall historical importance of the Jefferson nickel series, make it a prized addition to any collection. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting out, finding coins like the 1946 S Jefferson nickel is a thrilling experience. And, as we've seen today, the collector market for these coins is as vibrant as ever, with prices continuing to rise as interest grows. If you have a 1946 Jefferson nickel or you're out hunting for one, make sure you check for these unique features and consult professional grading services to get the most out of your collection. Thanks for joining us today on this fascinating journey into the world of numismatics. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth looks at rare and valuable coins. And as always, happy collecting!